Look, it's a case of COVID, deja vu COVID again, isn't it? We seem to be returning to some of the restrictions we saw earlier on in England. We still have mask mandates here in Wales. Of course, we've not stopped having them. And it hasn't really had the desired impact of bringing case numbers down. And across Europe as well, where mask mandates are compulsory in different parts of Europe, it still doesn't seem to be the answer. So I'm not entirely convinced by this argument. Of course, there are many that would say that, and there are different scientific opinions out there. You know, we don't just take one of them. The government is slowly bringing in these restrictions, Gloria, and I fear that Boris is heading towards further restrictions in England, as we've seen here in Wales and certainly in Scotland.
What would you be recommending, Richard Taylor, if you were in the cabinet? How should we be responding to this?
Yeah, I think there's a number of Conservative MPs on the backbenches who said the same, that, look, we should trust the public. Personal responsibility and pro-choice is what I'm a great advocate and believer in. And I think we should trust the public. If people want to wear masks, let them wear masks. Don't shout at them. You know, I'm not one of those who advocates that side of it, but certainly give people the choice. The irony of all this is, here in Wales, for example, you can't go to a cinema unless you show a vaccine passport and you're masked up, but you can go to a pub, which is packed with people, hundreds of people, all drinking, sitting close to each other, talking, and that's acceptable. So even the rules themselves, certainly in England, as they're now being introduced with a £200 fine, they don't seem to be proportionate to the actual problem. And let's not forget as well, the South African government have said to us, I've heard numerous commentators mention this, including the government there in Africa as well, to say that we shouldn't be worrying about this. But you look at Sunday's papers this week, and all we read was apocalyptic messages from mainstream media and from some politicians, and yet we know nothing or hardly anything about this virus at this stage, apart from some of the symptoms, which are being tired and having a headache. My personal opinion is, Liam, we need to learn to live with this virus. We can't keep putting restrictions in time after time after time, every time there's a new variant. Because what's the exit strategy? Do we introduce a new jab for every variant? When does this end? And it ends when we stop complying and stop consenting and get on with our lives. Most of the population has been vaccinated.